Alright, let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well today. Let's just jump straight into it. So today we're relearning what we were doing the other day, but I'm going to go through with the tutorial and stuff like that. We're going to actually build something out and we're going to go all the way to completion. The reason why we're doing this is we're trying to figure out if this is a useful tool for us or something like that. So yeah, sometimes you just got to sort of install it and use it to sort of figure that out. So yep, let's jump straight into it. So first we're going to make a tutorial. I am going to bring, oops, wrong button. I'm going to bring the terminal over here. All right, there we go. Could I do this almost? No, I can't. All right, I was just trying that out. That's fine. But I know I should be able to do... There it goes. Some tiling window action and stuff like that. All right. Let's just clear all of that. Let's scroll up to the top. So we are going to make the directory tutorial. We're going to cd into tutorial. Easy done. We're going to go Python 3. We want to make... We're going to use our virtual environment just because I'm more used to it over VM. We're going to open it up. All right, cool. We're in it. So pip install Django REST framework. If I can type that out. Okay. It's all right. We got a couple of messages going at once, and that's on live chat. Cool. So yeah, it's just downloading and everything like that. Nothing we can do whilst this actually happens. It's, you know, it's what we wait for. And Luca Santori, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. We met our 880 goals. So yeah, welcome. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. All right, so we've installed the Django REST framework. So let's go to the Django admin, start project. Let's go tutorial in this particular place. Oh, pick another name. Okay, Django admin, start project. Can you check your inbox on Twitch? Just messaged you. I won't be able to check at the moment. Sorry, I'm currently streaming. I will check after stream. But thank you. All right, start project. Yeah, that won't allow it for that. So I'm just gonna go tut. There you go. So I'm going to cd into tut. All right. So yeah, everything should look like that. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh, we didn't do the quick start thing. Okay, so we need pwd, cool, fine, dot, and there's all of our stuff. All right, cool. Let's migrate everything. Python 3, manage, create super user, username, admin, email. Let's just go admin@example.com. We're just using the same sort of stuff that they've got. Password, Let's just use our usual test password. So we're going to create a serializer. So I'm going to bump over here. I am going to open up that folder. I'm going to turn down the volume on my side because that was getting very loud. We have sites. We've got tutorial. We've got the tut. I think we... Yeah, we just want to do that. So under quick start, what we want to do is we want to create a serializer. So tutorial quick starter, we've got serializers.py. So I'm just going to copy that. I am going to go here, new file. We're just going to paste that in, serializers.py, easy done. I copy and paste because there's a lot of times I make spelling mistakes. And then all we're doing is we're doing pretty much inserting this. Okay, so the top two lines get libraries that we need. So from Django config auth models, we're going to be using the group and user classes, so we're importing those. And then from the REST framework, we're importing the serializers. I don't know if that is a method or a class. I don't know, and I don't know how to tell quickly. It's a class. Cool. Easy done. So, in here, what we've got is, we've got user serializers, serializers hyperlink model serializer. We're using meta, so we're using the model user. So we've got the URL, username, email, and group, so that they will be serialized when we call upon this. And then the group serializers, linked model serializers, meta group, URL, and name. Okay, cool. So, notice that we're using hyperlinked relations in this case with hyperlinked model serializers. You can also use primary key and various other relationships, but hyperlinking is good RESTful design. Easy done. All right, cool. We better write some views. Open up the tutorial, quick start views. All right, cool. That. And then get typing. So I'm just going to copy all this. And paste it in. We're not using the render shortcut, so we're using... So from the basic sort of Django models and stuff like that, so the contrib auth models, we're importing the group and the user. And then from the REST framework, we're importing permissions and view sets. And then from here, I think that can be shortened. Yeah, that one can be shortened, so I'm just going to comment out the top one. So from the serializers, which is next door, we're importing the group serializer and the user serializer, which is what we just set up. And then we've got the users view set, so views, model views. We've got the query. So we've got all the stuff. We're getting all the users, every object. So user.objects.all, and we're ordering it by the date joined ascending or descending. It's in the negative, so pretty sure descending. Serializer class equals user serializer. Permissions is permissions.authenticated. So yes. And then there's pretty much a similar thing with the groups down here. Rather than write multiple views, we're grouping together all common behavior into view sets. We can easily break these down into individual views if we need to, but using view sets keeps the view logic nicely organized as well as being concise. All right, with the URLs. So, those, actually, no, that particular one line won't be in there. So let's go over here. Let's open up the URLs. So we've got the Django config admin, Django URLs path. So URLs include and path. We need includes in here. Like so. Easy done. We need the REST frameworks import routers. All right, and then from tutorial quick start import views. Easy done. So that's importing everything from the views. It imports it as a, you know, a single thing at the view level. And then router equals router default router. And then this is something new. I haven't actually used router like this before. I haven't actually used router. I haven't used part of the REST framework. So I haven't used the REST framework before. So these 3 lines are rather new. So the router, default router, is creating it. Register the R users, R groups, and where it points to. All right, cool, easy. And then wire up the API automatically. All right, cool. So we also need this one line in there too. And we're overriding the default to include router.urls. So I'm just going to paste those into there. And I'm just going to remove that one. Because there will be a clash. Actually, no, there isn't a clash. The admin site is fine. It's all right. I stand corrected. Okay, so we've got router URLs. We've got all of that. I'm just going to put a little comma at the end of that. Easy done. So we've got the URLs set up. Okay, because we're using view sets instead of views, we can automatically generate the URL conf to our API by simply registering the view set with a router class. All right, cool. So that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Again, if we need more control over the API URLs, we can simply drop down to using regular class-based views and writing the URL config explicitly. Okay, cool. Finally, we're including default login and logout views for use with the browsable API. This option, that's optional, but useful if the API requires authentication and you want to use the browsable API. All right, cool. Pagination. Pagination allows you to control how many objects per page are returned. To enable it, just add the following lines to the tutorial settings. So, ooh. Now I'm going to the very end. And we're going to put 100. All right, in the settings themselves, we've got to put in the REST framework for the installed apps. My God, G just stopped working then. So in the installed apps, we need to put in the RESTful in there. I think I know why I had, oh, wrong button. Yeah, I had it on the Mac settings. REST framework, sorry. Easy done. And then testing out API, we just need to go Python 3, manage, run server. And it seems to work. So if we go to localhost, boom. There's our data. Cool. I'm liking this. And then, yeah, you can go to users. It's forbidden. You can API route. You can go to groups. Yeah. All right. Now, we can use curl to do all that. So curl, indent, HTTP users, enter host password. 8,000 users. All right, cool. And I hit enter password, go to test. Wow. All right. I like that. I do like that. Okay. Or use the HTTP IE. No, we'll use kill. We're fine with kill. Or directly through the browser, but you need to log in. So if we were in here, we have to click on login. It's easy as admin. We're using our default password. We go in and we're like, all right, cool, the users. Boom, there's our user. There's our user with one ID. All right, cool. And we can actually edit stuff. We can go to root. We can go to groups. We can add in a group. Let's go. And then boom. Easy. All right, so we've done that. We've played around with it. If you got the working through the browser, make sure you log into the top right. Great, that was easy. If you want to get a more in-depth understanding how REST framework fits together over the tutorial, yeah, let's start with the tutorial. All right, so tutorial, serialization, introduction. This tutorial will cover creating a simple paste bin code highlighting web API. Along the way, it will introduce various components that make up the REST framework and give you comprehensive understanding of how everything fits together. Cool. The tutorial is fairly in-depth, so you should probably get a cookie and a cup of your favorite brew before getting started. Well, I just drank all my water, so we're screwed. And I don't have any cookies at the moment. Now I'm just sad. If you just want a quick overview, you should head over to the quick start. We've just finished the quick start documentation. Sweet. So note that this code for this tutorial is available there, repository on GitHub. Feel free to clone it, and yeah, all right, cool. We're going to see what we can do. So I'm going over here. I'm stopping the server. We've already got the source bin activated because I've got the VM sort of thing in there. We've already installed Django, I think. So install Django. We've got the Django REST framework and pigments. I'm going to install those very quickly. It looks like everything's there. We do need to update pip. Okay, cool. Checks the virtual environment, deactivate. Yep, we don't need to do that at the moment. So getting started, we CD into it. We CD into the tutorial. So we're in the tutorial already. We've already, oh, they want us to start a new project, don't they? Yeah, let's do that. Cool, not a problem. Okay, I'm making a directory. This is going to be REST framework. We're going to jump into it. We're going to do Python 3 -m, and then followed by virtual env vmv, and then we're going to go source vn bin activate. And now we're in our virtual environment in Python. We're going to go pip3 install Django REST framework. And what was that other one? It was pigments. Or pygments. I don't know. Someone please correct me. All right, pip install upgrade pip. I can't even spell. There we go. Upgrade pip. Done. What we want to do is when we want to Django admin, start project, tutorial tutorial. Python module cannot be used as project name. Please try another. All right, so instead of tutorial, we're gonna go tut again. We're gonna cd into tut, and we're gonna go Python manage start app snippets. Easy done. All right, cool. And then from here, we'll need to add our snippet app to the REST framework. Hold on, we'll need to add our new snippets app and the REST framework app to the installed apps. All right, cool. So what I need to do, I need to go over here. We need to reopen up this. Remove from list. Open. REST framework. Yeah, it's REST framework. Trust project, this window. All right, cool. Easy done. What we need to do, open up tut. We need to open up settings. So in here, we need to go to installed apps and we need to install the snippets. So that should be snippets.app. I think if memory serving me correctly. REST framework snippets. Oh, it's just snippets. Sweet. Okay, cool. So that's added into our installed apps. So now it knows where to go. Creating a model to work with. For the purpose of the tutorial, we're going to start by creating a simple snippet model that is used to store code snippets. Easy done. Go ahead and edit the snippets.model file. Note, good programming practices include comments, although you will find them in our repository version of the tutorial code. We have omitted them here. Okay, cool. Yep, that's perfectly fine. So we're going to the snippets code. We are going to add in all of that. We are going to do that. So from Django DB, import models. So we've got the pigment selectors and pigment styles. Cool. That's going to be used to format the code in a sense. I think I'm not 100% sure what these do. I haven't used them before. Cool. We've got some of that. We've got some language choices and style choices. Sweet. Okay. And then here we've got the snippet when it's created, title, code, lineage, language, style, and ordering by created. All right, cool. So we also need to create an initial migration for our snippet model and sync the database for the first time. This is pretty stock standard Django stuff. You've seen me do this multiple times. We're making the migrations. I'm just going to migrate the whole thing. All right. That should be perfectly fine. So we're doing the whole thing. So now we need to create the serializer class. So the first thing we need to get, the first thing we need to get started on our web API is to provide a way of serializing and deserializing the snippet instance into representations such as JSON. We can do this by declaring serializers that work very similar to the Django's forms. Create a file in the snippets directory called serializers.py. So in here, yep, in the snippets one, we just right-hand click, new file, and we're just going to paste that in, and we're going to new file. And we're just going to copy this code. And I can... Ooh. All right, cool. We can do that because it's in the same folder. We just go bang, and then it's like, all right, cool. So the class snippet serializers uses serializers. We're connecting the ID, title, code, lineage, language, and style all up to those particular types of fields. So if we actually have a look at the models, I'm going to bang this like this. You'll notice that they sort of match up. So the ID is just an integer field. We know that. That's going to be default sort of thing. The title over here is a character field, and we notice that it's a character field. A blank true, you got default. The code is a text field, so over here code, ooh, character field, eh? And the style itself is base template text area.html. Ah, all right. Boolean field, yep. Language is a character field, but it's a choice field over here. It's a character field over here where the choices are limited to that. Okay. But over here, the language choice. All right. Yep. Choice field. So it's sort of like a drop down. If we actually scroll over default Python, all right, cool, and default friendly. Yep. All right, cool. Easy done. So yeah, some similarities, some differences. So this is a class. So we've got a create class, so we've got the validated data, so snippet.objects.create, cool, and it returns, it inserts the validated data. We've got the update instance validated data, and here it is sort of updating that sort of data. All right, cool, easy. The first part of the serializer class defines the field that get serialize/deserialize. The create and update methods define how fully fledged instances are created and modified when calling serializer save. All right, sweet. A serializer class is very similar to the Django form class and includes similar validation flags on various fields such as require, max length, and default. Okay, cool. Hang on, let me reread that because suddenly my brain was like, you know what? I didn't listen to a thing you said. And I'm like, yeah, I know. A serializer class is similar to a Django form class and includes similar validation flags on various fields such as required, max length, and default. All right, cool. So in the models table, you might have like a max length. So if the field gets too long, Django will send back an error being like, hey, this field's a bit too long and stuff like that. So the field flags can also control how the serializer should be displayed in certain circumstances, such as when rendering HTML. So, yep, flag above is equivalent to using widgets.textArea. All right, cool. I remember doing that a long time ago for the forms, but however, since we've moved to Vue, we don't actually have that in our forms anymore. On a Django form class, this is particularly useful for controlling how the browsable API should be displayed, as well as we'll later see in this tutorial. Cool. We can actually also save ourselves some time by using the model serializer class, but we'll see later. But for now, we'll keep our serializer definition explicit. All right, sweet. So, before we go any all right, we need to familiarize ourselves. So down here, we're going to go Python manage shell. So we're jumping into the shell, and then it's Control-L to do that. And then from snippets, .models import. I'm just going to import everything. All right, cool. All right, and then from REST framework .parsers import JSON parser. All right, cool. So we've got snippet equals snippet, code equals foo equals bar, new line. All right, snippet save. So we're just creating some data. So if I go snippet.objects.all, we've now got that data in there. All right, cool. We'll create another one. So now we've got 2 in there. So once again, if I just go objects all, we've got 2 in there. Sweet. So we've got data. Easy. All right. So we've got a few snippets instances to play with. Let's take it. All right, cool. So let's go serializer equals snippet, serializer, and then snippet. So this is for the second one. This is the hello world. So as you see, it comes through. If I go a equals, let's go snippet.objects.get pk equals 1, and then I go snippet serializers, and then a. I've mucked it up. Oh, what have I done? Let's pass through, oh, hang on. Let's go b equals a, and then b dot data. There we go. Sorry, I should have done one more step. All right, so as you see, we've got data in there. So if we go, at this point, we've translated the model into Python native data types to finalize the serializing process. We render the data into JSON. So content equals JSON renderer. And this is weird. Render. I was calling it and the method, and then, I've never done it like that. Oops. I mucked up. And then if we go content, if I can spell it right. So there we go. We have some JSON. To deserialize is similar. So let's go import in out. All right, cool. So stream equals in out dot bytes. In out and then content, and then data equals JSON parser pass, and then stream, and then if we have data in there, boom. All right, cool, easy done. And I am, oh no, ads haven't started yet. All right, cool. I know the ads are starting very, very soon. So all right. So then we restore those native data types into fully populated object. So if we go serializer equals snippet serializer, and then data equals data, and boom, serializer dot is valid, very similar to the forms, is true and false. So serializer dot validated data, boom. All right, cool. Now we're in our ad time, so yeah. All right, for those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour, about an hour and a half. Sorry, every half an hour we run about 1:30 ads. It's so that if you join on Twitch, you don't get pre-rolled ads. So yeah. However, on YouTube, you don't have ads at all, so don't worry about it. That's fine. Welcome. I hope you are going well. So during this time, I usually do this. Play with the Rubik's Cube, talk, waffle on a bit, do a couple of rants every now and then, and yeah. So, oh. I want it like that. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, so I've got all the centers done. Now I've just gone to the middle edges. Let's see where we are with the ads. 10 seconds left. All right, let's see if we can do one. I can actually. All right, cool. We did one. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Let's get back into it. So we've done this and we're quite happy with it. And then what we can actually do is serializer.save. Oh, all right. So we've now got a third object in there. Cool. Notice how similar the API is working with forms. Yeah, it's quite similar. Similarity should become even more apparent when we start writing views that use our serializers. All right, cool. We can also serialize query sets instead of model instances. So we do a simple many equals true flag to the serializer argument. So serializers equals serialize objects or many equals true. All right. I want to see one thing. I'm not going to put the many equals true in first. All right, so we've just got the snippets objects all no many true. And then we put in the data and it has a problem. Ooh, all right. Nice. All right. Using model serializers. Our snippet serializer class is replicating a lot of the information that is contained in the snippet tool. It would be nice if we could keep our code a little bit more concise. Yes. Yeah. It always is. In the same way that Django provides both form classes and model form classes, REST framework includes both serializer classes and model serializers classes. Let's look at refactoring the serializer using model serializer class. Open up the serializers again and replace the snippet serializers class with the following. All right, cool. So what does that mean there? So if we have a look at the serializers, we've got serializers, and then we're free to define stuff. However, they're like serializers model serializer. And very much similar to the forms, what we do is we go meta, or is it capital M? Oh, class meta. Oops, my bad. All right, class meta, and then we do something like model for the forms. So yeah, model snippet, and then we include the fields. And the fields are just an array. Oops. I am going to cheat. I'm just going to copy those because I can't be bothered. All right, cool. So, very similar to how Django forms are set up and stuff like that. You do have these particular cases where you can do a model form. And this is the cases of model serialization, where you're like, all right, cool. This is going to copy the same. This is going to connect to this particular model. And Void Chaos Father, hello, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. So what we're doing here is we're connecting it to the model snippets. Oh yeah, hey, how are you going? I like your new name. It's like your Void Chaos Father. Not Father of the Chaos, I do the Void. Ah. Alright. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Anyway, getting back to this. So what we're doing is we're saying it's connected to the model snippets and we want these particular fields from that particular model. So one nice property that serializers have is that you can inspect all the fields in a serialized instance by printing out its representation. Open the Django shell. Yep, all right, we're still in the shell, so we can go. Actually, one thing, it might not reload the thing. So from snippets.serializers, import everything. All right, so serializer equals snippet serializer. And then we can print the, what do they call it? The representation. Like so. Now this is, yeah. It will look like this. Episode 405, not fattening. No, that was last episode. 405 is, method not allowed, or George W. Bush trying to snack on a poor little defenseless kitten. So, yeah. Yeah, my brain wasn't found last episode, so that's why it was so short. Like, I don't think I made it. Oh no, I made it this far in the last episode. It was just, I was struggling at this particular point. So yeah. He's seen the cat must have executed Monga gun. I don't know. Is that an emote that's just not showing? Oh, I don't have it either. But I will respond with shell shock. Sorry, not shell shock. Shocked Max. Alright, so it's important to remember that model serializer classes don't do anything particularly magical. They're simply a shortcut for creating serialized classes. Yeah, so a good case of yeah, like if you're just wanting to show data in a particular table, you would use model serializer. However, if you're including other bits of data here and there and stuff like that, I would definitely go the serializer class. But everything is magic in programming. yeah, pretty much it is magic. But we've got to remember that magic doesn't always work. Probably supposed to be a Monka gun, Monka S with gun. Okay, fair enough. And hey, Adrian, how are you going? I'm hoping you're going well. You know what? I am going to shout you out. I need to get a bot or something like that. And I know there's a bunch of bots out there that when other streamers chat, it shouts them out. So yeah. All right, an automated and automatically determined set of fields, simply default implementation. So yeah, all right, cool. So yeah, it's a shortcut, and a lot of the times it will help, you know, keep your code clean. How's your Rust? Oh, that's asking Adrian. All right, because I have not learnt Rust at all. I am sorry, but no. Nothing against Rust or anything like that. I just haven't had a project to do it with. That's it. That's honestly it. Rust is on hold. Fair enough. Fair enough. Writing regular Django views using our serializer. Let's see how you can write some API views using our new serializer class. For the moment, we won't run any of the REST framework, other features. We'll just write the views as regular Django views. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit the snippets view.py and we're going to bump all of this in there. So going back into here, we're going to open up views. We're just going to be like, all right, cool. Let's just paste all of that in. And then let's get rid of all of this from the top. I don't know why I did it like that. Now, you might be going, ooh, that looks like a problem. It is. But the problem's solved just by doing that. How in the world did I both land and didn't land? Oh wow, did you both land pretty much on top of each other? Damn. The root of our API is going to be the view that supports listing all the existing snippets or creating new snippets. So yes, we're going to do this. Now, one thing I see in the code, and I'm going to comment on it. Don't do this. Don't. I know why they've done it in this particular reason, but don't do it. Yeah. Reset drop. Oh, did you reset the drop? Oh, wow. 72.84. Nice. So yeah, that's a good score. All right, so snippet list, request, list all code snippets or create a new snippet. So, all right, cool. If it's a get method, it lists all of them and it just returns the JSON response. If it's a post, it does something else. I'm not a fan of doing this. If I had a post or something like that and a get to hit a similar. Let me rephrase this. So, if I had a get and a post, I would prefer them being on separate URLs, being very explicit what they actually do. So, for example, if you're creating something, you would be like snippet create. If you're getting a list of everything, it might be just snippet. If you're getting a one object, it might be snippet and then that ID. So yeah, I don't like doing it like in one method. Definitely not. So some of this code, I'm like, no. I should bump this over here. Sorry, I didn't realize how far that had gone out. So the code's pretty simple. If it's a get command, you just get all the snippets, you serialize the snippets, remembering many equals true, and then you send back a JSON response with the data and making sure that the safe is false. However, if it is a post, you're getting the data, so the JSON pass, and you're passing through the request. All right. So the request would be in JSON format, most likely. And then you serialize that and you, oh yeah, it'll definitely be in JSON. What am I talking about? So someone has sent you a JSON package and you pass it into data and then you put that data into the snippet serializer and we check if it's valid. If it is, we then save and we return back a, all right, cool, 201. And if people are not familiar enough with 201, that is created. I love this. Otherwise, if it isn't valid, we send back an error and stuff like that. Now, you've seen me do this before, and then I would return JSON response, serialize. Actually, it would literally be like this. Now, the reason why I do this is I escape early, and then that way I can actually have more logic down here in a lot of the cases. So, yeah. This code is not written like how I would do it, but that's fine. It's a tutorial. All right, so that's the API requests. That's the group thingy. We're on this particular tutorial. All right, cool. Note that because we want to be able to post to this view from clients that won't have our CRF token, we need to mark the view as CRF exempt. And that's why they put that there for a tutorial. That's good, but if you were ever doing this, don't. I think there's better ways of doing it. This isn't something that you'll normally want to do. Yeah, definitely don't want to do this. And the REST framework views actually use more sensible behavior than this, but it'll do for our purposes now. All right, cool. We'll get through the tutorial. We'll see what they recommend. So yeah. We'll also need a view which corresponds to an individual snippet and can be used to retrieve, update, delete that snippet. All right, cool. So we're going to copy this code. We're going to go, wow. All right, we're going to copy this code slowly. And we're going to paste it at the bottom. Oh, excuse me. All right, so what this code does, tries to find a snippet. I think there is a shortcut in Django. So let's go up here. I think it's from Django shortcuts. Import it? Django shortcuts 404. Get object or 404. There it is. I just typed in a capital G. Silly of me. So there is a method called getObject or 404, which, so this will then turn into something like equals getObject or 404. Oh, I forgot how to use it. I've used it once or twice. Ah, there we go. So snippet and then pk equals pk. So that's the equivalent. Once again, this is a tutorial. They're doing things because you might, people who are learning this might not know that. All right, getting back into the code. So if request method equals get, once again, I'll separate all this. We just do all that. Else if it's a put, so we're creating it. Data parser pass. So we pass through our request. Once again, we're getting JSON, so we pass it straight into the JSON parser. We serialize that data through like this. Now we're also using snippet. So we're putting up an update. All right, cool. If serializer is valid, serializer saved. So we're overriding the data, which is fine. And then JSON response serialize.data. Otherwise, if it isn't valid, it returns a 400, which for those that don't know, 400 is a bad request. So invalid data. Else if it's a delete, we delete the snippet and we send back a 204. I'm not clicking in the right spot today, which is no content. No. All right, pretty basic code. Finally, we need to wire these views up. So let's create the snippets.url file, and we're just going to copy this because the URL file is pretty stock standard. We right-hand click, we go in here, and we go urls.py, and we just add them in like that. Once again, that should be our dot, and then the views, easy done. Look, yep, that's perfectly fine. I'm happy for the lurk, so yeah, enjoy your lurk. So we've got the data path. So anything that hits the snippets in the URL, it will open up the views.snippets. If the snippets have an ID key, it'll hit their snippets detail and stuff like that. We'll also need to write up the root URL config to actually hit this. So yeah, that's probably very, very quick and easy. So we just copy that. We go into the URLs in here. We go path and then include. And then we just add that in like that. And presto. So this just includes those snippets URL. So this particular file, which then includes those sort of things. So we've broken up the URLs a little bit. It's worth noting that there are a couple of edge cases we're not dealing with properly at the moment. If we send malformed JSON, or if a request is made with a method that doesn't handle, then we'll end up with a 500 server error response. Still, this is, yeah, we're just doing this at the moment. So testing our first attempt. So now we can start up a sample that serves our snippets, quit out of the shell. So yep, quit out of this. What we want is Python 3 manage run server. And don't forget to drop everyone, exclamation point drop, followed by your favorite emoji. We've got to beat Nightbot who cheats. I'm doing shocked max. So, server is running. In another terminal window, we've got one prepared already. We're going to go, actually, now they're using curl or HTTP. Damn, we didn't get there. Oh wait, Adrian. Oh no, you've hit the wall and yeah. Damn it. All right, Hippie is a friendly HTTP client. All right, cool. Let's go source VM. Oh. Hang on. REST framework. CD REST framework. All right, cool. Then source VM bin activate. All right, cool. And then we're pip install HTTP. HTTP. All right. Okay. All right, so we're using get and then unsorted. Ooh, we've got a sorted functionality and then yep. All right, cool. And I think we can use. Yeah, we can use this. But it's pure JSON. All right, that's done. So if we do HTTP get HTTP 127.0.0.1, my IP, 8,000 snippets unsorted. All right, yep, cool. We got data. It's working perfectly fine. We're happy with this. We've just tested this out. So up here, if we just type in a 2, boom, done. Everyone's happy. At least I am happy. Similar, you can have the same JSON display by visiting these URLs in a web browser. Yeah, we just done that. All right, cool. Where are we now? Oh, we're doing okay so far. We've got serialization API that feels pretty similar to the Django Forms API and some regular Django views. Our API views don't do anything particular, special at the moment, but beyond serving JSON responses, and there are some error handling edge cases we'll still like to clean up, but it's functioning web API. All right, let's move on to part 2 of the tutorial. Done. From this point, we're going to really start covering the core REST framework. Let's introduce a couple of essential building blocks. Request objects. All right, cool. The REST framework introduced requests object that extends the regular HTTP request and provides more flexible request passing. Cool. The core functionality of the request object is the request.data attribute, which is similar to the request.post, but more useful for working with web APIs. Okay, cool. So request post only handles form data, only works with the post method. Okay, cool. Request.data handles arbitrary data, works with post, put, and patch methods. Okay, response objects. Request framework also introduced a response object, which is a type of template response that takes unrendered content and uses content negotiations to determine the correct content type to return to the client. All right, cool. Renders the content type to requested by the client. Oh, all right. So if the client requests XML, we can send XML. If they request JSON, we can send JSON and stuff like that. That's good to know. Status codes, and I'm just throwing that around like this tomorrow. Status codes, using numeric HTTP classes. Using numeric HTTP status codes in your views doesn't always make for obvious reading. And it's easier to not notice if you get an error code wrong. All right, cool. REST framework provides more explicit identifiers such for each status code, such as HTTP bad request. All right, sweet. And the status module. It's a good idea to use these throughout rather than using numeric identifiers. All right. So wrapping API views, REST framework provides 2 wrappers that you can use to wrap an API view. The API @API view decorator for working with function-based views, and the API view class for working with class-based views. And thank you very much, Ins Adervin. I'm terribly sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. But yeah, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. Greatly appreciated. These wrappers provide a bit of... these wrappers provide a few bits of functionality, such as making sure you receive request instances in your view and adding context to the response objects so that content negotiations can be performed. Wrappers also provide such behaviors such as returning 405 method not allowed responses when appropriate. So, for example, if you've got a method that is only to be posted to, and you want method not allowed. And that's George W. Bush eating a taco cat. Method not allowed. And handling pass error exceptions that occur when accessing request.data with malformed input. Okay, cool. Incoming ad break. All right, sweet. So pulling it together. Okay, let's go ahead and start using these new components and refactor our views slightly. So I'm going to just copy this. We're going to go into our views. We're going to scroll up. I'm just going to paste it in. Delete stuff we don't need. Then I'm going to copy this. Going to paste this in. So, I deleted the top one when it wasn't needed to be deleted. All right, cool. The API view is get and post, snippet lists. All right, cool. We're no longer using this particular one. It's pretty much the same-ish code, and we'll go through it in a minute. We also need the response one too, so that is new. So going through this, list all code. So if the request is get, once again, we're doing this as snippets. We're getting all the objects. We're passing it through the serializers, and then we're returning it, and everyone's happy. If it's post, we get the data. We pass the data through. So we're using request.data instead now. And we've got the snippet serializer, so the data goes through. If it's valid, it saves the data and it returns back. But we've got a status. Ooh. Maybe I will copy this again. It's the top one. All right, cool. I'm going to neaten this up in a minute. So, yeah, that's pretty stock standard. So we've got the REST framework. We don't need that. So we've got the Django, REST. Import status. That one will actually belong up. Like that. And we've hit our another ad time. All right, cool. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour so that no one gets pre-rolled ads on Twitch. However, you guys don't get ads, so you get to enjoy this. All right. We tend not to do anything so no one misses out. And during this time, I usually solve a Rubik's Cube. So we've got our 4x4, which should be like that. And I think that just mucked up a bunch of stuff, which is really annoying. And not a problem. Let's continue with it. There's orange, yellow. Oh, wait, no, I'm having a moment. Orange, yellow's over there. Cool, going to this, Easy done. Easy done. All right. Cool. And how is everyone going? Hopefully everyone's going well. So yeah, we're just Friday, we're just programming. Well, we're learning things, right? You never stop learning as a programmer. And, you know, I like it. New challenges every week, every month, stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, I do have a feeling that 1:30 has passed. Yeah, sorry. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. I don't know how long the ads were not there for. I got distracted. So we're almost finished this. All right, so we've done that one. Now, our instance view is an improvement over the previous example. It's a little more concise, and the code now feels similar to if we were working with Forms API, where you also using name status codes, which make as response meaning more obvious. Here's the views for the other one. So yeah, we'll copy this. We'll just paste it in. Alright, so in here, what we've got is the API get, put, or delete. So those are the only things that we're allowed in. If someone does something else, it won't work. So we get the snippet. If the snippet does not exist, boom. Alright, cool. We're happy with that. HTTP method not found. That's probably why they've done it like that, to include this status. I'll allow it. We've got the request.method equals get, serializes snippet. So that's the get, and then it just sends back the data. We all know that. With this particular one, we all know these particular lines. This is the only one that's changed. 400 bad request. So that's the put. So bad data has come through. The data shape just was not correct. And then the delete, and then the HTTP 402 no content. All right, cool. So we're happy with all of that. This should all feel familiar. It's not a lot of different work from how a regular Django view works. Sweet. Notice that we're no longer explicitly typing our requests or responses to the given content type. Request.data can handle incoming JSON requests, but it can also handle other formats. Similarly, we're returning response objects with data, but allowing REST framework to render this response in the correct type for us. So if we go over here and we hit refresh, there's our type. But what happens if I do JSON? Format equals JSON. What about XML? Not found. Boo. All right, so going back over here, so adding optional format to suffixes to our URL. So to take advantage of the fact that our responses are no longer hardwired to a single content type, let's add support for formatting suffixes to our API endpoints, aka adding that XML at the end. Using format suffixes give the URLs that explicit refer to a given format, and means our API will be able to handle URLs such as example.com API items for.json. All right, cool. Start by adding a format keyword to both of the views, like so. And sorry about that, guys. Oh. I won't respond. All right, cool. Start by adding format keyword arguments to both views, like so. So, yep, we just need to go format equals none. All right, cool. So in here, on the views, we go up to the top. We're like, all right, cool. PK, sweet. We're gonna add in format. Oh, and we're happy with that. We're not going to complain. I mean, we could complain, but we're just not going to. So format dot none. All right, to both of them, and we just need to now update the snippets.urls file slightly to append the format suffix patterns in addition to the existing URLs. So in here, oh, they got a library for it. Oh, all right. This is interesting. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to paste this in. Boom. All right. Now, I'm actually going to do that. Main reason being is I prefer the local stuff to be at the bottom. So URL patterns equals format suffix patterns URL patterns. Oh. Oh, fancy. All right, easy done. We don't necessarily need to add the extra URL patterns in, but it gives us a simple, clean way of referring to a specific format. How's it looking? All right, let's jump into here. Let's get the, I'm just going to hit refresh, make sure it's all working. Let's go into JSON. All right, cool. XML doesn't work, but if I do .xml, not found, .json. .json works, but .xml doesn't. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, how's it looking? Go ahead and test the API from the command line as we did in tutorial part 1. Everything's pretty similar. All right, cool. Yeah, we can just go boop up here and we get the data. Hang on. Sorry. Sorry, I'm organizing tomorrow. I'm terribly sorry. All right, cool. So, we can control the format response that we get back either by accept header. All right, cool. Oh, HTML. Let's jump into here and go, all right, what does HTML look like? Not found. Great. Piss. Oh, thank you, Adrian. All right, so HTTP, forward 127.00.1.8000. Let's go snippets. And then accept text / HTML. All right, cool. All right. And they post in, all right, code equals, all right, let's try that. So HTTP form post HTTP 127.1.1.1, sorry, my IP address 127.0.0.1, and then 8,000, and then snippets, and then code equals print 123. Easy done. All right, sweet. If you have the debug, switch HTTP request above, you'll be able to see the request type headers. All right, wait, that's fine. We don't need to see that. So now go and open the API in your web browser, and once again, yeah, we get these. I'm just going to go back because what we can do is we've got it up here, and we can just go like this and be like, here we go. This is the one we just added by posting. Since we're in the next parking walking, we would need to leave this list. All right, cool. All right. Cool. Jump on here. Browsability, because the API chooses the content type of the response base on the client type, it will by default return a HTML. All right, easy done. Format representation of the resource when that resource is requested by the web browser. This allows for the API to return fully web browsable HTML representation. Having a web browsable API is huge usability win and makes developing and using your API much easier. It is also dramatically lowers the barrier of entry for other developers wanting to inspect and work with your API. Now, there's a lot of good cases where you don't want that. Sometimes you just don't want people poking around and stuff like that, and having that set up like that, which, hey, that's perfectly fine. Having just simple JSON would be easy. See browsable API topics for more information about. All right, cool. What's next? Part 3, we'll be using class-based views. Ooh, and see how generic views reduce the amount of code we need to write. All right, so class-based. So instead of def, so this is function-based or method-based. I keep forgetting the terminology exactly in Django. I do apologize. We've got functions there. Instead of having them like that, we're going to put them in classes, and you'll see this get changed and a bunch of all this gets changed. So we can also write our API using class-based views rather than function-based views. As we'll see, this is a powerful pattern that allows us to reuse common functionality that helps keeps our code dry. So dries do not repeat yourself. Good in certain sort of cases, but if you go crazy, it becomes bad. So in the majority of cases, the idea is you just have one sort of code that sort of does a bunch of stuff. Around about 10:30. All right. So rewriting our API class to the code sort of thing. So I'm just going to delete all of this, which should be perfectly fine. And I'm just going to copy this. All right, we're going to go back over here and we're going to see how short that is. All right, so straight away. No, hang on. I need to get used to. All right, cool. There we go. Sorry, I need to get used to the Vim bindings and stuff like that properly. So we've got the ooh. All right, that's up. So D paste. All right, cool. So I just like it like that. So we've got our class snippet views. We've got our get. So we've got our definition get here, which we're getting the snippets, we're pasting it through, and then we're doing the response and stuff like that. Now that's getting everything. Now the post itself is getting the data, making sure the serializer is okay, saves, and then sends back the sort of data. Otherwise, ooh, sends back data. Okay, either that's created. Okay, so it's a lot less. So far, so good. It looks pretty similar to the previous case. We've got a better separation between the differential HTTP methods. We'll also need to update the instance .views.py. All right. So, this is part of the views. So that's the list. So this is the snippet details. So this is, okay, so this is the list of everything. This is the single list of stuff. So we've got get object. Once again, we're familiar with that code. And they go straight to HTTP4. Ooh. And thank you very much, Kmart in Ease none 15. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So yeah, welcome. We've got the get, so that gets the snippet. Get object, which is just up here. Okay, cool. Get object up here. Otherwise, it'll raise it. Yep. All right, cool. So if that fails, it raises up things. Easy done. Good practice. Snippet through, response data, sweet. If we've got the put, so we're putting something in, like changing data and stuff like that, that goes through, is valid, save, serial, all right, cool. Otherwise, it's a bad request, sweet. And then we got the delete. So that's pretty simple. So it definitely, everything's definitely separated, which is nice to have. That's looking good. Again, it's really similar to the function base right now. We'll also need to refactor our snippets.url slightly now that we're using class base. So I am just going to copy this. We are going to go into our views. I'm curious what the difference is. So I'm just going to paste them down at the bottom, and we're going to delete everything that's the same. All right, cool. So the URL patterns, we've got the snippets, and then we've got snippet list as views. Oh, okay. And then we just got it as views at the end. Yeah, and because these are classes, these are no longer methods and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, pretty stock standard. Okay, we're done. If you run the development server, everything should just work as before. Sweet. Using mixins, one of the big wins of using class-based views is that it allows us to easily compose reusable bits of behavior. The create, retrieve, update, delete operations that we've been using so far are going to be pretty similar to for any model-backed API views we create. All right, cool. Those bit of common behavior are implemented in the REST framework's mixin classes. So if you haven't used mixin, mixin's a piece of the code that you can use everywhere. They're great. Let's take a look at how we can compose the views by using mixin classes. Here's our view module again. So all right. So we've got our class list, mixins list. Hang on, is this? This just shrinks everything down even more. What kind of madmen are they? I'm just going to paste it up here. All right, so we've got the class snippet list. Oops, sorry, I'm still getting used to H is that way, L is that way. So we've got a bunch of mixins, a mixin list model mixin, create model mixin, generic API view, and then we've got query set snippet all, then we serialize it, and then we've got the root. Okay, so it really crunches all of that down. So all of this gets put into that, which is kind of amazing. We'll take a moment to examine exactly what's happening here. We're building our view using generic API view and adding in list model mixin and create model mixin. The base class provides the core functionality, and the mixin classes provide the .list.create actions. We're then explicitly binding the get and post methods to the appropriate action. Simple enough so far. Yeah, so definition get, there's all our stuff that's passing through. Return list. And yeah, all right. Cool. And then, yeah, we just need to do the detail. We've got a problem on line 24 because it needs to space. That's just a little thing. So, we have snippet details, mixin, retrieve, model mixins, update model, destroy, generic, and then query set equals snippets objects, all that, like that. And then we've got the retrieve, update, and destroy. Wow. All right. So we've gone from a lot of code to really crunching the code down. That's actually, I was way too tired last night to be impressed by that. Let's just say, I think at this particular point last night, I had lost it. Not last night, last stream, which feels like last night. Pretty similar. Again, we're using the generic API view class to provide the core functionality and adding in mixins to provide the retrieve, update, and destroy actions. Wow. Now, the one thing is with me, I don't destroy things straight away. What I do is I what do I do? I definitely don't destroy things. I soft delete them, and there's a reason why. Using generic class-based views, stage things. When I mean I don't destroy things, I don't like to destroy things in databases because I've come across cases where people have just deleted stuff willy-nilly. There's never been a backup before. So I tend to soft delete. So there's a little field in there that's like is deleted, and it goes true when something's deleted. Is that what you mean, Adrian? Sorry, I've probably lost the context of stage things. So yeah. Oh, no. I'm just thinking the destroy I probably wouldn't want to use. I would probably want to override that with my own code. So, yeah. Which is fine. There's a lot of cases where if your code doesn't follow the sort of generic pattern and stuff like that, and like, for example, soft deleting doesn't. I think in those certain sort of cases, you would be going up here, def delete, and you would be writing your own code instead of doing the self.destroy. So, yeah. Using the mixing classes, we've rewritten the views to use slightly less code than before. Yeah, a lot less. But we can go one step further. REST framework provides a set of already mixed in generic views that we can use to trim down our views even more. No. Oh, these guys are madmen. That's it? Seriously? That's just it? They are madmen. Alright, I need to learn to do this correctly. Alright, cool. I think I could just... Yeah, alright. So, I'm just thinking about the keyboard and where to put my fingers for Vim. So, class snippet, let's create... Oh my god, like, this is nothing. But once again, I probably won't get something this... Do it, something like that. Yeah. Mainly because I do something custom, the business logic is a little bit out of the generics. Stuff like that. So, wow, that got pretty concise. We've got a huge amount for free. Our code looks good, clean, idiomatic, Django. Next, we'll move on to part 4 tutorial, where we'll look at how we can deal with authentication and permission for our API, which is what we want. Because the idea is we don't want users who haven't logged in to access the site or anything like that. All right. Tutorial for authentication and permissions. Currently, our API doesn't have any restrictions on who can edit or delete code snippets. Would like to have some more advanced behavior in order to make sure that code snippets are always associated with a creator. Sweet. Only authenticated users may create code snippets. All right, that's what we want. Only the creator of a snippet may update or delete it. Yep. Unauthorized requests should have full read-only access. Now, in our sort of case, we wouldn't want anyone to have read-only access. So if you've had a username and login and you pass the NearBeach credentials, that's when we would give you access. So yeah, adding information to our model. We're going to make a couple of changes to our snippet model class. First, let's add a couple of fields. One of those fields will be used to represent the user who created the code snippet. The other fields will be used to store the highlighted HTML representation of the code. All right, add the following fields to the snippets in the model.py. All right, cool, easy done. We're just going to copy and paste these. Won't be a problem. Let's jump over to here. Let's go into our models. I'm just going to paste it in here. So we've got the foreign key to .auth.users, related name snippets on delete models.cascade, and then highlighted models.text field. All right, sweet. Sweet. We'll also need to make sure that when the model is saved, that we populate the highlighted field using the pigments code highlighting library. I'm assuming that's how it's called, the PYGMENTS. We'll need some extra imports, so we're just gonna copy this and be like, all right, let's add this to our views. Let's go in here, let's go up here, let's go, all right, cool. Add them in. And now we can save. All right, cool. So now we can add in a save method to our model class. All right, in here, we're going to go def save self. Oh, it types it in. Args and quags. All right, what else are we doing? So use the pigment library to create. Now I'm just gonna, because this is just a comment, I'm just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna paste it in. Easy done. And what we want to do, Lexa equals get Lexa by name. And then we go self dot language. Now I'm assuming this is on the list one. I'm assuming, because that's where you would create it. Now we add into our model classes. Oh, no, I'm doing it in the wrong spot. Okay. Sorry, it's meant to go into here. Oh, is that a capital S? It's a lowercase s. Oh, screwed up already. And we're on our ad break. All right, cool. So now that I got everything, for those that joined on YouTube, we also run on Twitch. Twitch runs ads. Well, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour because we want pre-rolled ads where you join a channel and there's an ad straight away. We hate that. So running ads every half an hour stops that. And I mucked up that sentence multiple times. You're gonna have to get a puzzle and be like, sorry. Yeah, we don't like the pre-rolled ads on Twitch, and the only way around it is to run ads every half an hour. You guys don't get ads, so you get to see me for a little bit solve this Rubik's Cube. So yeah, we tend to sort of do this so no one misses out on any content or anything like that. So yeah. Anyway, doing this, going like this, going like this. All right, cool. There we go. Rubik's Cube solved. So yeah, pretty easy. Well, you know, I think it's pretty easy. I find it fun. And welcome back, everyone. Alright, I am... Def save. Alright, cool. Hang on, I press escape, thank you very much, and I know what button I press. Def save, self, args, and quargs, alright, to our model. In here, what we do is, I'm just going to copy and paste that. Now, I don't tend to do this for NearBeach. We do need to actually have these particular classes in here, but this is an option which you can actually do in Django. So Django RM, Django models save override. So yeah, you can do it like this and stuff like that and do extra sort of stuff. We did it at one particular point in NearBeach because I needed to do something. However, I think we ripped it out when we simplified everything. So yeah, what's this doing is this is actually triggered whenever we save the model. So the lexer is get lexer by name, self.language. So pretty much what the value of the language is up here. Lineus table if self lineus else false. A bunch of so it's going to be table if lineus is set to true, else it's false. All right, cool. Option title self.title equals self-title. All right, cool. Those are just ternary sort of stuff. I'm not that used to the ternaries in Python, so bear with me whilst I struggle with those. Then we've got the HTML formatter in here, self.style, lineus, .lineus, full true options. All right, cool. And then highlighted sort of code that goes all that, and then it just saves it. And we're like, all right, sweet. Easy done. A good example with this is, when you would use this is, for example, if you're, I think you can use it with an audit table type of thing. So if someone changes something, this gets hit and you can pass the user and data that's been sent into another table as an audit sort of thing, and yeah. All right, cool. So we've just added that into the thing. Now that's all done, we'll need to update our database tables. Normally we create a database migration in order to do that, but for the purpose of this tutorial, let's just delete the database and start again. All right. I don't like it. Oops. So we're just making the migrations for the snippets right now, and then we're just going to go Python manage migrate, and it'll just shove everything in. Yeah, usually I like to do the migrations and stuff like that. They're really good to actually show you sort of how the database has changed over time. And a lot of times databases will migrate and change and stuff like that, and some fields become relevant and some fields are just no longer relevant and stuff like that. That's just part of design, and a lot of times some fields might move around and stuff like that. You might restructure some data, so yeah. You might also want to create a few different users, for example the API. All right, let's create a user. Yeah, let's call it admin, no reply at nearbeach.org. Let's use the stock standard. Oops. Passwords. All right, cool. We'll just do one at the moment. Adding endpoints for our user models. Now we've got some users to work with. We better add representations of those users to our API. Creating a new serializer is easy. In serializers, we're going to add this. So we're going to go back into our serializers. We're going to be like, all right, cool, let's add this in. Oh, we're no longer using those. Oh. Yeah, because it pulls all from there. All right, cool. I am just going to remove those. We're going to add in this particular one. All right, so we got the user serializer. So that serializer, model serializer, we're connecting that to the table users. Sweet. And we're using the fields ID, user, and snippets. Where snippets equals the serialization of primary key related fields, many equals true, where the query set equals the snippet objects all. All right, cool. I've never used this before. Oh, because it's part of the serializers. All right. No wonder why I've never used it before. It's a new method for me. So my guess is to read the documentation on what is actually happening. Because snippets is a reverse relationship on the user model, because we've got a user field in it, it will not be included by default when using the model serializer class. So we need to add an explicit field for it. So yeah, we're just adding the field in here. And what I think is actually happening is it looks up this particular table and it finds that thing, and then it will return that data. We also add a couple of views, views.py. We'll like to just use read-only views for the user representation. All right, so we'll use the list API view and the retrieve API view generic class views. All right, cool. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna go over into the views. I'm just gonna be like, all right, cool. Let's paste that in. Let's delete all of this, which I accidentally added into the wrong area. No one saw that, right? We're gonna copy this. So use the list and use details. That's gonna go at the very, very end. Like so. We're just going to go to 17. All right, cool. The user serializers. We haven't imported them yet. Like so. And then I want to go to 22. I want to... Oh, no. No. I want to... Easy done. Make sure you also import... Yeah. So I caught that before I even read it in the documentation. I've just used Django for that long. Finally, we need to add those views into the API by referencing them from the URL config. Add the following to the patterns in the snippet.urls. Ooh. We're going to copy those. We're going to go to the URLs. We're going to be like, all right, sweetie, let's bump these in and let's... Hang on, I should be doing that. Like that, all right. Cool. So that's adding in the users and the users stuff into there. All right, cool. I need to close that. I need to look at that. All right, pre-rolls for another 25. All right, cool. I am going to go over here and then associated snippets with users. So right now, if we create code snippet, there'll be no way of associating the user that created the snippet with the snippet instance. The user isn't sent as part of the serialized representation. Oh, hang on, my brain just did not listen to a word I just said. I'm speaking it out loud, but my brain just ain't, listening. So right now, if we create a code snippet, there'll be no way of associating the user that created the snippet with the snippet instance. All right, cool. So if we create a code snippet, there's no way of associating the user with the snippet. All right, cool. The user isn't sent as part of the serialized representation, but instead a property of incoming request. The way to deal with this is by overriding the perform create method on our snippet views. That allows us to modify how the instance save is managed and handle the information that is implicit in the incoming request or request URL. Sweet. Cool. So on the snippet list class, add the following method, perform create. So the snippet list class so they've got perform create, self, and serializer. It's really weird typing it in the American way. And then serializer save owner equals self request dot user. All right. Owner equals self request. All right, so that's passing through that. So I'm assuming there'll be one that's like perform delete, and then we can override it and actually not delete and soft delete. The create method of our serializer will now be passed an additional owner field along with validated data from the request. Neat. Updating our serializer. Now that the snippets are associated with the user that created them, let's update our snippet serializer to reflect that. Add the following field to the serializer definition. All right, so we're going to go over to our serializers. We're updating the snippet serializer. Oh, and we're putting it up here. So very similar to the user serializer, we've got an extra field in here. I think we've also got to put it into here like so. Actually, no, because we're not wanting to collect that data from the user, because they should be logged in. So, note, make sure you also add owner to the list. Oh, all right, no, don't worry. I am crazy. Yes, we do need to add it in there. Okay, cool. Make sure you add owner to the list fields in the meta class. This field is doing something quite interesting. The source argument controls which attributes is used to populate the field and can point at any attribute on the serializer instance. It can also take the dotted notation shown above, in which case it will traverse the given attributes in a similar way as it is used with Django template language. All right, cool. The field we've added is untyped read-only field. Oh, hold on. Serializer's read-only field. Oh, source owner. Oh, all right, cool. Cool. All right, okay. The untyped read-only field is always read-only and will be used for serialized representations, but will not be used for updating model instances when they're deserialized. We could also have used char field read-only equals true here. Okay, cool. The untyped read-only field is always read-only and will be used to serialize representations, but will not be used for updating. All right, yeah. So it will give data out, but you don't have to pass it through. Adding required permissions to views is what we really, really want. So note that the code snippet are associated with users. Easy done. We want to make sure that the only authenticated users are able to create, update, and delete code snippets. Sweet. Yeah. The REST framework includes a number of permission classes that we can use to restrict who can access a given view. All right, cool. REST framework includes a number of permission classes that we can use to restrict who can access a given view. In this case, the one we're looking for is authenticated or read-only, which will ensure authenticated requests get read-write access and unauthenticated requests get read-only access. First, add the following import into the views module. All right, going in here, we're going up here, and we're just pasting in like there. All right, and then we're realizing that no, we actually want it pasted up there. All right, so then add the following property, both the snippet list and the snippet details. So view classes, permission classes. hang on, hang on. I'm not on the views. This is my bad. I nearly mucked up there. All right. Cool. So we want to put this into here like this. I'm assuming. Now, another thing is permissions dot authenticated. Or we don't. Ah, okay, cool. So there is one where we can check to see if they're authenticated and stuff like that. This is awesome. Now, I typed in random Z. So, adding login to browsable API. If you open your browser and navigate to the browsable API at the moment, you'll find you're no longer able to create new code, snippets, or do anything like that. So if we go over here and we're like, all right, cool, let's go to the snippets. Oh, we can't create new code. We get nothing. Nothing but method not allowed. No! George W. Bush, what are you doing to that cat? Alright. So. I just closed my window. So yeah, we can't create anything. Oh, and there's no data in there. And Trigger, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. Good morning. So welcome back. Yeah, we're actually learning the Django REST framework to seeing how it sort of fits within our ecosystem, stuff like that. So yeah. Ooh, requests. So, that's the wrong one. The wrong tab. So, adding a login to the browsable API. So, we've added that in. Hang on. If you open your browser and navigate to the browsable API at the moment, you'll find that you're no longer able to create new code snippets. In order to do so, we need to add in a login user. All right, cool. We can add in a login view for user browsability API by editing the URL config in our project URL files. All right, we're just going to copy that. We're import include path. Our project level files. All right. So we need to go over here. We do already have include. And we're going to put that into there like that. And that will be perfectly fine. And now we've got API auth. The API auth part of the pattern can actually be whatever the URL you want. Now that if you open up the browser again and refresh the page, you'll see a login link at the top and right of the page. So there's no login link. If we hit right, ooh, login, and we can go admin and we can log in and boom, we can start adding stuff. So title, random 3. So the code would be def random 3, return 3, and return a random 3. And now we can post it. Oh. All right. No, we'll continue with the tutorial. Because I think we've broken something, but that's perfectly. We could have either broken something or we're not at that sort of part of the tutorial where we get that sort of data. So yeah, we'll continue on. Now, if you open up the browser again and refresh the page, you'll see the login the top of the right of the page. If you log in as one of the users you created earlier, you'll be able to create a code snippet again. We can't. Once you created a few code snippet, navigate to the user's endpoint. Ooh, all right. Let's go over here. So that's perfectly fine. All right. Raw data, title, random 3, code, print 3. Cool. Keeping it simple. No. All right. Cool. All right. Data form. All right, so it's hitting the snippets, not null constraint failed, snippets.ownerID. And we're hitting this on the save. I'm missing something from the save, aren't I? So we're going to go back to the models. We're on the models. We've got the save. We've got all of these particular lines, but I copied and pasted. Let's scroll up. I copied and pasted. Okay, I'm going to go back to the start. I'm going to have a look at the code. I'm going to click on tutorial. And I don't have... excuse me. Yeah. There's the owner. So it's failing when it does super.save. Oops, not ideal. But we should have perform create, serializer save, and then we're passing it through. Now that might be the mistake. So let's have a look at the code. Let's go snippets, let's go views. And I'm just going to copy this. Now I've got to check that it's on the snippet view set. I don't know when we change that to the view set. I've got preform create. All right, no, it's a typo from me. Easy done. We found the problem. Let's get back into it. So, judging from this, we just go reset, resend. Boom, we've done it, and it's passed all the way through. And then we can do a def random 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 returns a random 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 return 3. Let's tick that. Let's go Python. Let's go colorful. Let's post that. Boom. All right, and it's in, and we're happy. Yeah, spelling mistakes. Always my downfall. So yeah, adding endpoints for our user model. So we've just we've added in this. Yeah, we added in that. Associating snippets with users. Yep, we've done this. Yep, I should have copied and pasted, but I didn't. This is why I sometimes copy and paste, because, you know, spelling mistakes. I'm full of them. We've got this updating our serializers. So, no, yep, we just updated our serializers. Adding required permissions. So we've just done that to that. Adding login to the browserable ID. We've just done that. And then object level permissions. So we really like code snippets to be visible to anyone, but also make sure that only the user that created the code snippet is able to update and delete it. To do that, we're going to need to create a custom permission. In the snippets app, create a permission.py. I'm just going to copy this because we all know how great I am at copying code and compared to typing it out. So yeah, so we're using the REST framework permissions is owner or read-only permission-based permission. So custom permissions are to only allow users of an object to edit it. So has object permissions, so it goes through here. Read permissions are allowed to any request, so we'll always allow get, head, or options request. So request methods in permissions, safe methods return true. All right, cool. Write permissions are only allowed if all right, cool. So object owner equals request user. So yeah, sweet. So this looks like it's going to be a decorator and all that kind of stuff. So now we can add custom permissions to our snippets, our instance endpoints by editing the permission classes property on the snippet details class. So, all right. Is owner or read only? We need to import it. So that's the class. So we need to go to our views. That's our URLs. Our views. We need to up here from this permissions import is owner or read only. So we wanted to go down here and hang on, we want to add that to our snippet details. And then we want to go is owner or read only. Cool. So now if you open the browser again, you'll find the delete and put actions only appear on a snippet instance endpoint when you're logged in as the same user. Sweet. So I don't have a secondary user or anything like that. So what we'll do is we'll go up here, we'll click on snippets. We'll be like, all right, cool, snippet 1. I'm going to stand up. All right. Ooh, my knees. My knees. So, going through with all this, we've got all this sort of stuff in here. We can delete. We've got options. Yeah. So, yeah, cool. Authenticating with the API, because we now have a set of permissions on the API, we need to authenticate our requests to it. Oh, we've just hit an ad break. All right, cool. Ad time. I'm hoping everyone's going well. I have all right, cool. Let's do this. Okay, let's just oops, I am making mistakes. Okay. Sweet, so we got all the centers done. How are we? We've had 20 seconds left. We can get a couple of these up here. That's perfectly fine. We need that, and then with that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And then we've got Alright, cool. won't do that. And I think 20 seconds has passed. Welcome back, everyone. All right. What's your fastest time on the Rubik's Cube? 27.9 seconds. Officially, it is higher than that, though. So give me a couple of seconds. I can actually tell you officially what it is. Hang on. Oh, thank you. I'm not as fast as I used to be. And I need to speed up the one side, two lines. And it's just me sitting down learning the algorithms. Actually, that won't. Will that? Yep, there I am. Oh, wow. 2016 is when I registered. Jesus. That's a long time ago. Alright. Officially, my fastest time is, I think, 34.51. And I did that at the WCA World Champions 2019. So, yeah. I was pretty happy about that day. Alright, so... Thank you, yeah. I do like to use it as a fidget machine, so, yeah. Because we now have a set of permissions on the API, we need to authenticate our requests so that if we want to edit any snippets, we haven't set up any authentication classes. So defaults are currently applied, which are session authentication and basic authentication. When we interact with the API, though, through the web browser, we can log in, and the browser sessions will provide the required authentication for the request. If we're interacting with the API programmatically, we need to explicitly provide the authentication credentials on each request. If we try to create a snippet without authenticating, we get an error. All right, let's try that down here. HTTP post HTTP 127.0.0.1. Once again, my IP address, snippets. Code equals print 123. Authentication credentials not provided. Boom. All right. We can make successful requests by including username and password with the ones we created before. So let's try that right now. HTTP A for admin, like that. Post, that's just the usual stock standard sort of test password that I use, so don't worry about me giving out passwords. Code equals print 123. And thank you very much for the follow, Abe Eloma. I'm terribly sorry, I'm really bad with new names and stuff like that. Welcome. Thank you for the follow, and I do hope you are enjoying my content. And please correct me if I totally butchered your name. I'm terribly sorry. Alright, summary. We now got a fairly fine-grained set of permissions on our web API. Oh wait, I didn't test it. Oh yeah, it made it. Easy done. Cool. We now got a fairly fine-grained set of permissions on our web API and endpoints for users of the system and for the code snippets that they have created. In part 5 of the tutorial, we'll look at how we can tie everything together by creating an HTML endpoint for highlighted snippets and improve cohesion of our API by using hyperlinking for the relationships within the system. Oh my god, can I speak? No, I can't. And then after this one, we've got the views and routers and stuff like that. I mean, some of me is like, yeah, we could potentially use this, but I don't know how this will connect with the view stuff. So currently we've got the front end stuff that sends it to the back end, and the back end knows that the person is logged in via the session ID. I don't know if that will still work if we're using this, and hopefully it will. That is something we will need to test. The other thing is, if we were to do this, we'll need to build up all the serializers and stuff like that. And also, because it's object data doesn't it doesn't function like a normal table, because it could be a number of different data points and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out. So at the moment, relationships with our API are represented by using the primary keys. And I should also, oh yeah, we just had ads, and I was meant to actually get water on the ads. Damn it. At the moment, relationships with our API are represented by using primary keys. In this part of the tutorial, we'll improve the cohesion and discoverability of our API by using hyperlinks or relationships, which could be very, very useful. So for example, if you've got, let's say, a snippet, you might want a URL to that snippet and stuff like that. So yeah, and my shoulder just crunched like there was no tomorrow. All right, so right now we have endpoints for snippets and users, but we don't have a single entry point for our API. To create one, we'll use a regular function-based view, API view, decorator. We introduced, yeah, all right, cool. So we're just adding this into here, like so. So we've got the API, this is the gets, this is API root, request, format equals none, response, we've got the user's reverse. So we're reversing the user list. All right, cool. And we're reversing the snippet list. So we're sending that data through to the front end. Sweet. Two things should be noticed here. First, we're using the REST framework reverse function in order to return fully qualified URLs. Easy done. So we used to use the reverse functionality quite a lot in NearBeach. We still actually do. On the templates themselves, you'll see we're passing the reverse functionality for the dashboard, which is the root URL of the site, because that's the entry point to NearBeach, and we're passing the reverse for the statics. However, the static is actually just the get static URL. A different sort of function that's not reverse. Sorry, we're only using the reverse functionality for the dashboard, because that's the root URL of NearBeach. URL patterns are identified by convenient names that we'll declare on our snippet.urls. So, creating an endpoint for highlighting snippets. The other obvious thing that's still missing from our Pastebin API is the code highlighting endpoint. Unlike all other API endpoints, we don't want to use JSON, but instead present HTML representation. There are two styles of HTML rendering provided by the REST framework. One is dealing with HTML rendered using templates, the other for dealing with pre-rendered HTML. The second renderer is the one we'll like to use for this particular endpoint. All right, cool. So we're, yeah. The other thing we need to consider when creating the code highlighter view is that there is no existing concrete generic view that we can use. We are not returning an object instance, but a property of an object instance. Instead of using concrete generic views, we'll use the base class for representing instances and create our own .get method in your snippets.view. So in the snippets.view, we'll add this. So once again, we'll copy this, shove this up here, we'll paste it in. We're like, all right, cool, the REST framework stuff, all right. I need to sort of permissions, that will remove that. REST framework, renderers, that will remove that. Reverse response, decorate that. All right, cool. All right, so this would be snippet highlighting. So I'm just gonna paste this one here. It's alphabetical order. That's why. If you're wondering why I put it in there. We've got snippet highlighting, so we're getting the query set of everything. Render classes, renders, static HTML renders, it passes. All right, cool. Yep. as usual, we'll need to add the new views that were created into the URL config. We'll need to add a URL pattern for our API route into there, which is just as simple as this. This is very simple to do. So we'll go into our URLs. I'll add that one up at the top. Reason being, alphabetical order. That's all. I like things in alphabetical order. And then this is snippets, highlight. So this one will belong in here. Like so. So we've got the snippets highlight. Once again, alphabetical order. There's a hierarchy to all of this. Now that being said, I do believe this might have to go above this particular line because it'll resolve on this line first. Whereas we want to check this line, and if it doesn't resolve, then check this line and then resolve. So we'll figure that out a little bit later. All right, so if I go into here and I'm like, done. User list not found. User list is not a valid function or pattern name. Okay. Yep. Let's go back to views. All right. Have I done something wrong? Highly likely. I need the fan on. Sorry, it is almost 30 degrees Celsius in here. That is hot. For those that want that in Fahrenheit, that is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so I'm going to continue with this. I think 30 degrees Celsius, we have freezing rains and slippery roads here. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm quite the opposite. It's been a hot day, but it started out really cool. So if I go Melbourne weather. So it actually started out really cool, and at 12 o'clock, yeah, sure, it's heated up and stuff like that. My house is actually rather cool. It's just this one particular room. And that's just because I've got my computer on in here. I don't have aircon in this room. Alright, so going back into here, so hyperlinking our API, dealing with relationships between entities is one more challenging aspect of web API design. There are a number of different ways that we might choose to represent a relationship, using primary keys, using hyperlinking between entities, using a unique identifying slug field on a related entity, using the default string representation of the related entity, nesting the related entity inside the parent representation, some other custom representation. REST framework supports all of these styles and can apply them across forward or reverse relationships, or apply them across custom managers such as generic foreign keys. In this case, we'll like to use hyperlinked styles between entities. In order to do so, we'll modify our serializers to extend hyperlinked model serializers instead of model serializers. Oh, all right. So the hyperlinked model serializers. God, that's a bit of a mouthful now. The hyperlinked model serializers has the following differences from model serializers. It does not include the ID by default. Nice. All right, cool. That's interesting. It includes the URL field using the hyperlink identity field. Okay, cool. Relationships use hyperlinked related field instead of primary key related field. Oh, all right. We can easily rewrite our existing serializers by using the hyperlink in your snippets.serializers py add. So we've got the owner in there. I'm just going to copy this, because I don't think there's too much difference. So we go to the serializers. We're just gonna, you know, paste over on that. We're gonna, oh god. Then we added one in. And we're doing that. So we're adding in the highlight, serializers, hyperlink identified, field, view, snippet highlighting, HTML. All right. Now the view name is like that. You'd rather slip on your bum than melt in the heat. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't mind it. At the moment, so I've used up all my tomatoes. They all went red just recently. I've got some watermelons growing, and I know they need the heat, so I'm quite happy for this little bit of extra heat to help, hopefully, you know, get them to grow. I've planted potatoes today. I planted more seedlings and stuff like that, but they're out of the heat at the moment. What else? So I've got a couple of sunflowers. Some of them are at the end of their life, which the heat's going to help with them. I've got more watermelons. I've got a lot of capsicums done, and I've got one of my cucumber vines that's left. So hoping for the heat to produce extra fruit and vegetables, just for that last little bit. All right, class meta, model, snippet. We've got URL, ID, highlight, owner, title, code, lineage, language, and style. All right, cool. So we need to put in highlight. So we've got URL, ID, title, ID, highlight, owner, title, code, yep, title, code, yep, all right, cool. And with this particular one, the snippets, yeah, we need that little one in there. So we're just going to go down. This is the user serializer, snippets. Oh, no, we don't need to modify that one. That one's perfectly fine. It is missing the URL. Easy done. Notice that we've added the new highlight field. This field is the same as the URL field, except that it points to the snippet highlight URL pattern instead of snippet detail URL pattern. Nice. All right, cool. Because we're included format suffix URL such as .json, we also need to indicate on the highlight field that any format suffixes are highlights. It should return the .html suffix. All right, cool. Yeah, dot format at the end. All right, cool. Make sure our URL patterns are named. If we're going to have hyperlinked APIs, we need to make sure that we name our URL patterns. Let's take a look at the URL patterns that we name. So NearBeach does this. So we always name our URLs. The root of the API refers to the user list and the snippets list. Our snippet serializers include a field that refers to snippet highlights. Our user serializers includes a field that refers to snippet details. I am terribly sorry. I did stand up. I am just off to the bathroom. I will be right back. I am terribly sorry. I will leave this. Hang on. Yeah, potty hat. I don't have to be right back. I'll be right back. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get back into it. So, if we're going to have a hyperlink API, we need to make sure that we name our URL patterns, which we do at NearBeach. So, every single URL endpoint will have a name. That's very useful for when we actually want to call it and stuff like that within the system. Let's take a look at which URL patterns we need to name. The root of the API, user lists. That refers to the user list and the snippet list. A snippet list serializer includes a field that's, yep. Our user serializers include a field to, to the snippet details. Our snippet and user serializers include URL fields that by default will refer to the model name detail, which is in this case snippet detail and user detail. Cool. After adding all those names to the URL config, our final URL should look like this. So, I am just going to... I think they're missing something. I'm going to go to snippets. I'm going to go URLs. Okay, that's down there. Which one is this for? I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go in the URLs. We are going to add in a new line. We're just going to paste everything in. I am going to delete that. I'm pretty sure we've got to keep this in here. I've left that bottle of wine open for way too long. I'm going to have to cook with that wine. Alright, so... going with the top, we've got the views API roots. Okay, cool. We don't have a name there. We can't put a name in there. The next one is for the snippets. It connects to the snippet list as a view, and it's called snippet list. And the next one's called snippet details. The next one's snippet highlight, the username, and so forth like that. So the error we were seeing before should no longer appear. All right, it's a different error. Now they've got that hidden. There we go. So yeah, we get rid of that now. We put it at the top. There it is. All right, cool. No, I see it now. I'm just tired. So that's all working good and dandy. We'll go into here. And what we want to do is we've done that. Adding pagination. So we need to actually copy this and put this into the settings down here. So we just do... oh, why is that still editable? And I am like 100. Yeah. Alright, note that the settings in REST framework are namespace into a single directory setting named REST framework, which helps keep them well separated from your other project settings. We can also customize the pagination style if we need to, but in this case, we'll just stick with the default. So, yeah, alright, cool. Browsing the API. If we open up the API and navigate to the browsable API, you'll find that you can now work or your way around the API simply by following links. All right, so if we go into here, we can open it up and be like, oh, cool. We can go into the users. We can go into user 1. All right, sweet. We can go API root and go into the snippets. And there's our snippets. So here's our snippet 3, and there we go. There it is. Highlighted. We can actually see it highlighted. There we go. If we go back and Go back to snippet list. There we go. Highlighted. Random 3. Sweet. We can go back. Let's go into editing this. This is our thing. Python console. Let's go Python. Let's go, yeah, colorful or coffee. Let's put that in and let's boom. All right. I like it. And we got it all highlighted and stuff. This is cool. Not gonna lie. All right, that's the wrong thing. So yeah, we're done with that. Part 6 of the tutorial, we'll look at how we can use view sets and routers to reduce the amount of code we need to build our API. So in this, the REST framework includes an abstraction for dealing with view sets. This allows the developer to concentrate on modeling the state and interactions of the API and leaving the URL construction to handle automatically based on common conventions. View set classes are almost the same thing as view classes, except they provide operations such as retrieve or update, and not methods handlers such as get or put. A view set class is only bound to a set of method handlers at the last moment when it is instantiated into a set of views, typically by using the router class, which handles complexities of defining the URL config for you. All right, refactoring to use view sets. Let's take our current set of views and refactor them as view sets. So first of all, let's take all of our user list and user detail classes into a single user view set class in snippets.view. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna go over into our views. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna go, all right, cool. We're just gonna paste this into here. We're gonna go down and we're gonna delete. I think we'll delete both of those. Like so. This view set automatically provides list and retrieve actions. So that is, let's refactor our user list and user detail classes into a single. All right, yeah. So we were meant to delete that. Serial class, use the serializer. Here we've used the read-only model view set class to automatically provide the default read-only operations. We're still setting query set and serializer class attributes exactly as we did when we were using regular views, but we no longer need to provide the information to 2 separate classes. We're going to replace snippet and we hit ads again. All right, cool. Ad time. All right, how's everyone going? For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch so that if you join Twitch, you don't get any pre-rolled ads. Pre-rolled ads is the one where you join a channel and you get an ad straight away, and it sucks. Absolutely sucks for everyone. So yeah, we do that. And whilst we're running the ads, we solve a Rubik's Cube or talk or anything like that. And I think that wine is, yeah, that wine's definitely, yep. All right, not a problem. That wine has just become a cooking wine. I've left it open a little too long. So, well, these things happen. All right, going into here, we're going like this, we're going like this, we're going like this, and we're going up like that. We've got that and that around like that. We can do that, and then we can go bang and do something like that, and presto. So now we've just got to solve it like a 3x3. But how many seconds do we have left? We've got 15 seconds left on the clock. All right, cool. Won't be able to do this at this moment, but we'll do it as fast as possible. I think that's 15 seconds up. Oh no, 4 seconds anyway. And welcome back, everyone. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I just went to that screen pretty quickly. All right, cool. Should put this down. because I will get distracted. All right, here we're using the read-only module VueSet read-only model VueSet class to automatically provide the default read-only operations. We're still setting the query set and serializer class attributes exactly as we did when we were first using the regular views, but no longer need to provide the same information to two separate classes. Next, we're going to replace the snippet list, snippet details, and a snippet highlighting view classes. We can remove the 3 views and replace them again with a single class. Oh, ooh la la. So I'm just going to copy this. They really like to do the whole, this is it extended out, and you know, you can get away with just doing this, and by the way, get rid of this code. Yeah, we can do it like this. Now, we've got permissions, we've got renderers, we've got decorators. Actually, we've got the decorator actions and the response dot response, yep. Cool. All right, so that shrunk it down quite a bit. So we've got the query set, object all, serializer class, serializers, permission classes. We've got the 2 permission classes in there. Sweet. It's not how I would write the code out, but that's perfectly fine. That's not really readable. I like to do that. Yep. So you can actually be like, hey, cool. So this time we've used the model VueSet class in order to get a complete set of default read and write operations. Notice that we're also using the @action decorator to create a custom action named highlight. So if we go into here, we've got the query set, we've got the permissions that we set on, and then we scroll down and we've got the @action, detail equals true, render classes equals render, static HTML page renderer, highlight. So there's our highlight, there's our snippet, get object. Where's our get object now? I guess it's self.get object. All right, cool. Okay. Get the object. All right. Yep. No, I can see it. Response snippet highlight. Snippet dot highlighted. All right. Cool. Yep. And then we've got the perform dot create. Oh yeah, it's sending through the response of the snippet. Okay. Yep. No, I get that. Perform create save. Yep. Owner request. All right. Sweet. So going back here, notice that we've also added the @action decorator to create a custom action named highlight. This decorator can be used to add any custom endpoint that doesn't fit into the standard create, update, delete standard suite. Custom actions will use the @action decorator. Will respond to get request by default. We can use method arguments if we want an action to respond in post request. The URLs for custom actions by default depends on the method itself. If you want to change the way the URL should be constructed, you can include URL path as a decorator keyword argument. All right, cool. So if we go up here, highlighted once again, this one should just work. No, it doesn't work. No, snippet views. All right, not a problem. We're going through the tutorial. There's been a couple of stages where we've actually hit a couple of issues, but that's just because we haven't finished the tutorial yet. So, oh, shoot. Yeah, 2 sips of wine that's been on the bench for a week, and yeah, kick over your stool. The handler methods only get bound into, the handler methods only get down to the actions when we define the URL config to see what's going on under the hood. Oh, hang on. When we define the URL config to see what's going on under the hood, Let's first explicitly create a set of views from our view sets. All right, cool. In the snippets URLs, we bind our view set classes into a concrete view. So in here, oh, well, this all changes now. Okay. Once again, we just get rid of that because we're in the same folder. We have REST framework renderers from views.import API root, snippet views, and the user views and stuff like that. So we've got the snippet list equals snippet view set as view, get and post. All right, cool. Snippet details as view. So we got the get, retrieve, update, put update, patch, partial update, and delete, destroy. All right, cool. And then snippet highlight equals all of that sort of stuff. Where the render class equals that. All right, cool. User list equals that. All right, cool. Now that shouldn't work because notice we have created multiple views from each view set class by binding the HTTP methods to the required actions for each of the views. We need the URL patterns. Now that we've bonded our resources to concrete views, we can register the views as usual. So we're going to copy all this. We're going to actually undo what we've just done. We're going to delete that. We're going to go up here again and we're going to paste that in. Now, if we're not using these anymore, we'll see what actually happens next. All right, cool. So that means that .import.views, yeah, we're being explicit here. So we can get rid of that one. REST framework. I like it. I like things in alphabetical order. It's just one of those things. So we've got all of this now. So we've got snippets, snippet list, snippet details, snippet highlights, user list, and user details. So yeah, we've got all of those mapped out now. And in reality, I mean, that could easily be placed into there if you lay it out all correctly and stuff like that. Yeah, if you follow a pattern. And then using routes, because we're using view sets classes rather than view classes, we actually don't need to design the URL configs ourselves. The conventions for wiring up resources into views and URLs can be handled automatically. Using a router class, all we need to do is register the appropriate view set with the router. Let it do the rest. God, I can't read, can I? Here's our rewired snippets.urls file. Did we just shrink that again? So we just done a bunch of copying and pasting, and now we're just going to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to delete all this and just paste in all this. All right. I mean, I'm not complaining, but damn. So we've got the router, default router, router.register, our snippets, where the view snippet view set, base name snippet, users, all right, cool. And then it adds in the hyphens depending on the things, and then the router. Yep, all right. Damn. Registering the view sets with the router is similar to providing URL pattern. We include two arguments, the URL prefix for the views and the view itself. All right, the default router class we're using also automatically creates the API root view for us, so we can now delete the API root function from our views module. So it's just absolutely crunched it. And hello, Sashin Joseph. Hi, how are you? Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So yeah, welcome. Using view sets, Using view sets can be really useful. Abstraction, it helps ensure the URL conventions will be consistent across your API, minimize the amount of code you need to write, and allow you to concentrate on the interactions representation of your API provided rather than the specifics of the URL config. All right, cool. That doesn't mean it's always the right approach to take. Yes, there are similar set of trade-offs to consider when using class-based views instead of function-based views. Using view sets is less explicit than building your API views individually. Yeah. So, we got there. Let's hit reload. Yay! Highlights still working. Let's see if this is still working. Yay! So yeah, all of that was just condensed down into that now with the URLs and with the views and so forth like that. So we've got the custom sort of stuff. I've got the perform create. So yeah. Alright, I have a lot of work to do. So yeah, now, we've logged in, that's great, but what if I wanted to create an API key? So we've got authentication. All right. We got basic session. All right. Easy done. Yeah, I've got a lot of reading to do from now on. So, will this meet what we need? I don't know at the moment. That's the problem. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have an API where someone can send a token or similar, like a bearer token or something like that, that will allow them to get to object data, because this is where we've set up our custom API. Now, currently what actually happens is VueJS will contact this and it sends across authentication and stuff like that. So if we go into, let's say, test.nearbeach.app, let's go into demo. So just wait. Before I do, I'm just making sure no one has done anything stupid. So I'm just making sure nothing stupid has been put into here. All right, cool. So when we request data, if we go into our network tab and stuff like that, so there's multiple times we request data. So for example, when we create a new link and we're like, all right, we want to link in projects and stuff like that, and it hits the object data, you then got what we're looking at currently. And then it's got a bit of other information in the URL and so forth like that. So that's all meant to point at a particular location. We might be refactoring all of that and having the data actually come through as an object, like new form sort of stuff, or JSON and stuff like that. So we'll be thinking about this sort of process moving forward. And what that actually sends... So that sends back some bunch of data, but in the headers you'll be able to see we've got the CRF token in there. We've got like we've got the XCRF token. We've got a bunch of stuff in here, and I forget how it validates it. I think there's a cookie. Yeah, it sends off the CRF and the session ID cookies and stuff like that to the backend, and the backend's like, all right, cool. That's one way to do it. So I've got to make sure if I'm hitting this API that I can do it using session IDs and so forth like that. And that way it can be like, oh yeah, this user is logged in. They do deserve this bit of data and so forth like that. And the next thing is, what if someone's, let's say there's an API that's contacting NearBeach to get data and stuff like that. We need to set it up so that we can extract certain stuff, and it's validated through that. I also need to make sure that it goes through the proper permissions. So the idea is we've rolled out our own permissions. It's group-based and level-based. So if you're in a particular group with a particular set of permissions, that can override another sort of settings and stuff like that. It's, to put it simply, it's like a Venn diagram and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to call it there. I'm getting tired. It is 9:30. I don't think I can survive to 10 tonight. So let's find someone to raid. So we've got Togglebit to keybind, mostly sucking off my editor. Got 0 day. We've got, yeah, you too, Adrian. You also have a great weekend. We're gonna raid Pirate Software. It has been a little while since he's out, since we've raided him last. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We've learnt something. We're going to hopefully figure out if we're going to apply it to NearBeach, and if we are, we are going to do that. We do want to get this API set up. If it's getting blocked by any sort of, let's say the database changes, which we want to implement, then we'll have to push this back. It is on the roadmap, but you know, sometimes things get pushed back on the roadmap. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. It has been wonderful. I do hope you enjoy Pirate Software stream. So yeah, thank you. And those on YouTube, thank you very much for coming.